There's one thing about the landscapes of Spain that sets them apart from any other place on Earth. It's the sun, which shines almost 365 days a year and warms the sands of our beaches, shines down into the sea, and glimmers between the valleys. It's the same sun that illuminates our towns and cities, making Spain undeniably the country of light. During this program, we will take an all-inclusive tour of Spain's coastal regions, where an ocean and two seas bathe shores which are a dream unto themselves. Nestled in the greenness of Galicia, in the northwest of Spain, the Ferrol-Ortegal region is one of those places leaving first-time visitors utterly speechless. Its fine sand beaches, some of which remain untouched, and the Ortiguera estuary are enclosed by high stone cliffs where sensations of vertigo and excitement come together as one looks out to the sea. These stone masses had lain deeply submerged until the continental split produced these cliffs, which tower more than 600 meters above the ocean. Built in 1982, the Ortegal Lighthouse is the most modern lighthouse on this coastline. It is connected with the town of Carreño by a specially built road. The view from the observation point, 124 meters above the sea, is an awe-inspiring spectacle. Ortegal was sculpted from a struggle between two mountain chains in the Bay of Biscay and the Atlantic Ocean, which joined forces to conquer the land further to the north. But these bodies of water abdicate to the land in the areas where the highest cliffs in continental Europe have been formed and where the land's hard-heartedness is comparable to that of the sea. Elsewhere, mountains open up to the sea in places where estuaries and inlets gorge on the water that flows from their rivers. The rugged coastline offers a truce in the form of vast sandy beaches such as Valdoviño and Doniños. Untamed beaches retain all the natural splendor of this location, home to an internationally renowned culinary scene whose seafood is ranked among the world's finest. The most important city in this region is El Ferrol. The castle of San Felipe, witness to the comings and goings of ships in and out of the bay, casts a majestic shadow. Moving eastwards, we enter the inland parts of the Galician coastal region. The Albarino grape, which gives its name to the prestigious white wine from this area, is the protagonist of a virtual dreamscape. Gradually, the landscape changes hue to an even more intense shade of green, where forests give way to meadows, the pasture lands, and cool valleys leave no doubt that we are in Asturias, country of sea and mountains. The Asturian coastline is a visual feast where nature can be seen at its finest. Playa del Silencio in Cudillero is a must-see for all visitors. Llanes bids us farewell as we fly over Asturias and into Cantabria on the way to San Vicente de la Barquera. The town of San Vicente de la Barquera is a clear example of why the Cantabrian coast is known as one of the most beautiful coastlines in Europe. This fishing and marine enclave is surrounded by an unparalleled natural environment. From a privileged vantage point atop of a rocky outcrop overlooking the whole town, the Santa Maria de los Angeles Church dominates the historical district. Together, the church, one of the most prominent examples of Gothic architecture in Cantabria, and Castillo del Rey, or King's Castle, form an architectural complex of great beauty. The San Vicente estuary, with its crystal-clear shallow waters, leads us to the Bay of Biscay. At Punta Silla, the lighthouse bearing the same name has been greeting and welcoming sailors since the 19th century. Playa de Meron, the closest beach to San Vicente, is a 365-day-a-year surfer magnet and is one of the most renowned surfing spots in Europe. The meadows extend to the sea, where coves and gorgeous beaches are plentiful. Places for total immersion and enjoyment of what this land has to offer. we are headed east towards the Basque coast. Built high on top of Cabo de la Plata at 153 meters above sea level, since 1855 it has guided ships entering and leaving the dangerous port of Pasajes. The La Plata Lighthouse now guides us to the beautiful village of Mundaca. But before getting there, we'll have time to enjoy a nice view of Bilbao from the air. On the banks of the estuary of Bilbao, the Guggenheim Museum. Legend has it that Mundaca is named after the Latin phrase munda aqua, which means clean water. According to this story, a ship from Scotland reached the coast of Mundaca, and its crew, in their Latin language, christened the place Aqua Munda, as they had found a very clean source of water, very different from the murky waters of the Urdaibai estuary. Large boulders, carved by the passage of time, speak of mysterious eras and epic adventures. Standing impassive as witness to it all is San Juan de Gaztelugatxe. Gaztelugatxe is an islet connected to the mainland by a double-arch bridge. Perched on the island is a majestic 10th century hermitage dedicated to St. John the Evangelist. A narrow road atop the stone bridge eventually leads to the hermitage, following a 237-stair climb. Here, Basque sailors blessed their boats before heading out to sea. We now leave Cantabria and its rugged coast in search of completely different but equally fascinating scenery. The waters of the Costa Brava welcome us to one of the loveliest villages in this part of the world. Hidden in this rocky cove and painted white is a place that one would swear is the product of an artist's imagination. So much is that true that geniuses such as Salvador Dali, Picasso, and the great Orson Welles made Cadaqués their workshops and centers of inspiration. Iglesia de Santa Maria presides over the town's center on the highest point of the old town. It is surrounded by the winding streets that give Cadaqués its special charm. Impeccably situated houses in the surrounding areas directly overlook the sea. Casa Museo Salvador Dali is an essential stop in Cadaqués. From the air, we can observe its privileged location in the Bay of Port Lligat, a place that fascinated the artist. Formed by a group of fishermen's huts that were acquired by Dali and his wife Gala, it was opened to the public in 1997 and inside exhibits the painter's memorabilia. We head out of Cadaqués southbound for a rendezvous with Illes Medes, a small archipelago consisting of 2 main islands and 5 islets that form a natural area of great beauty. The shipwrecks which abound in its waters attest to the islands having been visited by pirates during their incursions in the Mediterranean. Today, the island shipwrecks and enormous wealth of marine life have made them a destination of choice for divers from all over Europe.
Called you up in the middle of the night, had to talk. Yeah, you tell me that everything's alright.
Our next stop is in the middle of the Mediterranean and about 300 kilometers southwards. As rocky structures become visible in the sea, the island of Mallorca emerges.
Oh, what would I do?
A mainstay of Spanish tourism, the island of Mallorca offers the millions of tourists who visit it every year every type of landscape imaginable.
Right now I'm here, right now. Right now you're here.
Its entire coastline seems designed for playing hide and seek with the sea and surprising visitors at every turn with the irresistible designs that water and time have etched into its rocks.
We can live on the shore, dance across the water underneath the stars. I'll give you anything you want, just as long as you'll always want me.
Small beaches hidden among lush vegetation are plentiful here and of great beauty.
Carry us into the moonlight. Do you feel like I do? Do you? I've got everything that I could want now that I've got you. Right now I'm here. Right now you're here.
The coastline is dotted with villages like Soller, which offers a year-round mild climate and a wide range of leisure options.
I'm here.
The capital city of Palma de Mallorca and its 13th century cathedral are the most famous sights on this Mediterranean island.
I could swim inside of love. God only knows that it's been.
Located less than an hour by sea is Mallorca's younger sister. Menorca, the peaceful island, has been declared a biosphere reserve by UNESCO. We are welcomed by the Cavalleria Lighthouse. Cut off from civilization, it offers light and guidance for nautical operations along these shores. The cliffs in the north give way to beautiful beaches on the southeast corner of the island, bathed by a Caribbean-like sea. Here, these small beaches are called calas, hidden places that are sometimes only accessible by sea. Ciutadella, the island's most populous city, is located in a natural western Mediterranean harbor. Ciutadella on our way west, flying over the Mediterranean once again toward the coast of the Spanish mainland. Right before our eyes, as if it had been painted in an imaginary world, we discover the city of Benidorm. One of Spain's most important tourist destinations, it is also internationally renowned because of its beaches and intense nightlife. Benidorm has a floating population that reaches 600,000 in the summer months. Visible are huge skyscrapers and residential and leisure complexes that seem more characteristic of a large American metropolis than a city created for leisure and holidays. Standing 186 meters high, the Hotel Bali, the second tallest hotel in Europe, towers majestically over this massive swarm of steel, concrete, and glass. Its two beaches, Levante, east, and Poniente, west, both fly the blue flag of the European Union and are within sight of Benidorm Island. An ecological reserve famous for its abundant marine life. To the south, Alicante's Mediterranean coast offers an idyllic landscape of small hidden beaches lapped by a turquoise sea. Small, colorful houses in the town of Villajoyosa contrast with the skyscrapers of neighboring Benidorm. Leaving the coast of Alicante, we enter Balmy Murcia, the orchard of Europe. Águilas is a city open to the sea, a sea that has been, throughout its history, the real raison d'etre of the local population. Almost all its historical heritage has some particular kind of connection to the coastline from where ideas, the economy, and dangers have all made their way. But these dangers have given way to the tranquility of a coastal town that coexists with seasonal visitors. And where today, the ancient Castillo de San Juan only has to stand guard over beachgoers. Built during the reign of Felipe II, it is perched on Águilas Hill, from which the city was formerly protected from invaders. On the Murcia coast, one can see small beaches with enormous charms, such as Cala Cerrada, intricate designs that the wind has carved into this land of limestone. This beach marks the border between Murcia and Andalusia. The coast of Almeria marks the start of a journey to one of Spain's most beautiful landscapes. Cabo de Gata, which the Greek astronomer Ptolemy called Karidamau Akra, meaning what the wind swept away by the sea, appears before our eyes as a majestic sight. This is one of the few areas of volcanic origin to be found in Europe. A natural park since 1987, it is one of Spain's most protected areas because of its geological, ecological, and landscape features. Presiding over the cape, the Gata Lighthouse stands 18 meters above sea level to guide ships in transit from the Mediterranean to the Atlantic. Nearby is the amazing Vela Blanca, a strange and unusual white rock formation of volcanic origin. It owes its name to the fact that upon the feet of the primitive underwater volcano on which it is located extends an outcropping of volcanic rock in the shape of a white sail, standing in sharp contrast with the dark tone of the cliff.
There's nothing here we should fear but the nothing.
Legend has it that passing ships mistook the white shapes for a sailing vessel and ended up stranded among reefs in the area.
We both know we're nowhere near it, but we won't go and do what's right. We both know we need to hear it, so why don't we talk in straight lines?
The Almeria coast is arid here. The volcanic rock meets the sea as cliffs which harbor small, untamed beaches below.
There were times when the lines that you should have heard ended torn in a swarm of directions. We lose so much when we touch up the right words.
To the west, we enter the interior of the province of Almeria to discover a completely different landscape. The fields are fully covered by plastic greenhouses. The Mediterranean climate here allows a variety of fruits and vegetables to be grown year-round. It is a permanent garden open 365 days a year. The terrain of the Andalusian coast changes as we enter the province of Malaga. The scenery becomes more lush here. Architectural monuments are mixed here with natural monuments that make this one of Andalusia's most beautiful coastlines. Nerja, famous for its caves and beaches, is one of the most important tourist destinations on Costa del Sol. A third of the population is foreign, comprised largely of European tourists who had arrived and then decided to stay forever in this land that offers an average of more than 300 days of sunshine a year. Costa del Sol is synonymous with relaxation and holidays. The coastline here is filled with beaches and resorts. But there are also isolated areas where time seems to stand still, and secluded beaches where one can still get the sensation of being all alone. Further south lies the province of Cadiz, land of bulls grazing free on huge green estates. Andalusia in its purest form. The coast of Cadiz, also known as Costa de la Luz, is one of Spain's most beautiful coastlines. It offers huge white beaches lapped by the Atlantic, such as this one in Zahara de los Atunes. But the jewel in the crown is Playa de Bolonia and its dunes, which rise to more than 30 meters in height. The sand slowly makes its way into the Mediterranean forest that surrounds it. Huge mobile sand accumulations are formed when strong easterly winds clash directly with the cove, creating a contrast of great beauty. The views from the top of the highest dune are truly amazing. Next to the beach are archaeological remains of the ancient Roman city of Baelo Claudia, an important strategic Roman enclave which in the 2nd century was the nerve center of trade between the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. Windsurfing is religion here. Tarifa and its beaches are a year-round mecca to lovers of this sport who come from all corners of the globe. Strong easterly winds also make this area one of the best in the world for dinghy sailing. The 7-kilometer-long Playa de los Lances is one of the largest beaches on this coastline. In the background is Tarifa, the closest European city to Africa. This coastal region of Cadiz marks the limits of the southern extreme of the Spanish mainland. The Canary Islands, also known as the Fortunate Islands, are to be found just 95 kilometers off the African continent. Gran Canaria, the round island, the warm weather island, is also the island of contrasts and of golden sand beaches. With an average annual temperature of 19 degrees centigrade, it is a special place in the South Atlantic. A piece of Europe where it is next to impossible to find a spot from which the sea is not visible. This feature, along with its volcanoes, have combined perfectly to create this open, cosmopolitan, and welcoming island. The island of contrasts. The north is mountainous, with ridges that stretch to the sea, forming huge cliffs. One of this island's symbolic landmarks is Roque Nublo, located in a natural park that bears its name. This site consists of two unusual volcanic rocks rising 80 meters from their base and 1,813 meters above sea level. In ancient times, it was used as a place of worship by the first inhabitants of the island. The south is another story altogether. The golden sandy beaches of Maspalomas are part of one of the island's unique natural areas, formed by a sea of mobile dunes that may have originated from a tsunami. Kilometers of beach that make Maspalomas a standard bearer for international tourism in Spain. Tenerife, Gran Canaria's sister island, appears majestic with the silhouette of the Teide volcano in the background. At 3,718 meters in elevation, the top of this volcano is the highest peak in Spain. The beaches, dark in color due to their volcanic origins, are abundant here, dotting the coastline from north to south. Volcanic reefs created unusual natural pools, like this one near Puerto de la Cruz, where one can swim in any season. The rugged west coast of Tenerife, practically without towns, offers visitors a wonderful spectacle of huge cliffs that seemingly pour all of their splendor into the Atlantic Ocean. Spain, with 7,880 kilometers of coastline, has one of the most extensive collections of coastal areas to be found in Europe. From north to south, east to west, throughout its islands, Spanish coastal regions offer a variety of geographical, cultural, and landscape options that make this country like no other and invite the traveler to discover them in detail and learn for themselves why this land is known as the Land of the Sun.